I hope everybody is good. Welcome to another Blessing at the Bar live stream. I'm sorry I'm low tech again because I wanted to use my camera, but apparently it's just not cooperating today. So unfortunately we can't use it, but that's fine. We're okay. We've still got this pretty not so bad camera on my Mac. It's not the best, but it's okay. So we're gonna get into, I'm just double checking my live stream is all good, making sure everything is fine, and then I'm gonna share this link. Okay, yay! I like it. We're getting in the groove of things. Okay, so we've got 3 questions today. I was sent 1 via DMs and 2 of them on Curious Cat. As you guys know, that's where I take the questions each week. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just sharing. Watch the hashtag ask Blessing at the Bar live stream here, exclamation mark. Share a link. Tweet. Yeah. And I'm going to go on Instagram and take a picture of our live and let everyone know that we're live on Instagram too. Yeah, sorry for the brief delay. So basically my camera was, like, I'm going to smile for Instagram now. Hey. Join me for the Ask Blessing at the Bar live stream. Live stream now on YouTube. Exclamation mark. All right, right. Now I can get into it. Yeah, so I wanted to use my camera, but it just wasn't cooperating with us today, but that's fine. We can still use our MacBook camera. It's just sad because I wanted to give you guys, HD and all that big jazzy quality, but it's fine. Like I'll take my L for today. So let's get into the first question that I've been asked. So the first question is about working on the BPTC. Were you able to work during the BPTC? It looks like the timetable is going to get in my way, so I'll have to give up work. Is it possible to find weekend legal jobs? So in terms of the way I worked on the BPTC, as you guys know, or if you've read my blog, you'll know, I did the full-time BPTC course. So I was on the BPTC every day, 3 days a week, full-time, and having a job and doing that would have been really, really hard. Now, does that mean that it's impossible? No. And I had plenty of friends who did have jobs. Sorry, ignore the loud rustling. I'm just turning my microphone. I had plenty of friends who did have jobs on the BPTC, and those people made it work. They were very tired all the time, but they did their work in the 2 days that they had free, because at City we worked for 3 days and had 2 days free. I'm not sure how all the other centers work, but that's at least will give you an indication of what a standard approach is. Now, the reason I didn't work full-time on the BPTC is I just didn't know where the time would come from. But I understand for a lot of people, work is essential. Obviously, I'm not saying work wasn't essential, but it was a sacrifice I made. But a lot of people don't have the option to make the sacrifice. So my recommendation would be, for example, some people do the part-time BPTC so they can work alongside. Now, that's not to give you an indication that it's still not going to be a massive amount of time that you're going to need to dedicate, but it is going to be a lot of time that you're going to need to dedicate. So if you do it part-time, at least that way, it's some way of maintaining a job alongside. Realistically speaking, the BPTC is such a drain on your time that it's going to be really hard for you to do any sort of job that requires more than, I would say, 10 to 15 hours a week. And that's a push at that. Your evenings, now, if you watch my BPTC vlog, I have talked about that vlog a lot. If you go on the lawcareers.net YouTube channel and check my BPTC vlog, and also go on my blog and look at I did a week in the life of a BPTC student. So you actually got to see me basically live blog in real time, what I was doing, the amount of time it was taking me to do different things. And that should help you. But don't forget that it's a very time intensive course. It's going to be something that you're going to need to dedicate a lot of yourself to. And it's not going to be easy. In terms of what I did, 1 day a week, I did do volunteering at Advocate, formerly known as Bar Pro Bono Unit, and I did a full day of work there. I wasn't being paid, but it was work. I did there once a week, and that was still a lot of time taken out of BPTC studying. So just take that into account. If you have to get a job, if it's absolutely non-negotiable for you, consider doing it part-time. If you don't want to do it part-time, then you can do it, but you will be flat out, and you would have to be on top of everything. Don't miss out on a single piece of work. Do all of your work ahead of time, and essentially you would need to make sure that you did everything when it needed to be done. You didn't procrastinate, and if you are willing to be that dedicated, you can do it. So I hope that answers your question. I'm sorry I can't give you any positive news that the BPTC is going to be super easy or not going to be a huge drain on your life, but it is what it is with that course, unfortunately. Moving on to the next question. I'm struggling with drafting cover letters to send to chambers for minis. Do you have any advice? What are they usually looking for? Great question. Cover letters, let's see. A cover letter is an introduction to your CV. It pulls out the most important things for your CV. It's think about it as a reader's guide to who you are when they look at your CV. When chambers are asking for a cover letter, they want to know, okay, could you please express to us in a way that your CV can't, what your motivations are, what your reasons are for wanting this opportunity, and what are you going to get out of this opportunity, and always be able to point at reasons and examples and motivations that you have. They're looking for, like I mentioned, that evidence, but they're also looking that you know how to articulate yourself, that you've understood what chambers can offer you, and you've made a good case for why that would be beneficial to you as a specific individual. Obviously, mini-pupillages are inherently helpful. So the fact that they offer mini-pupillages and you want one isn't enough. You need to say, I want this mini-pupillage because X, Y, Z. And I think that with this experience, what I'll be able to do is X, Y, Z. Does that make sense to you? So that's what I would recommend for you to think about. Another thing for you to think about is the actual formatting of your cover letter. So is your cover letter reading like your cover letter and your CV are two different people? Are you referencing things in your cover letter that aren't in your CV? Don't do that, because when they look at it in your cover letter, they need to corroborate it in your CV. Have you put things in your CV that you didn't draw out of your cover letter? And if so, why? They may be wondering, well, is there something about that experience that you don't want to discuss? And in essence, you kind of have to roll the dice a bit and think, okay, what is the most valuable experience I've got that fits this chambers well, and take each chambers for what it is and what they do, and tweak and tailor yourself for them, and that should work for you. I don't have any other advice other than, like I said, get that seamlessness between your CVs and your cover letters. And another thing for you to think about is going forward for pupillage. Have you created a clear path of someone who is intentional and deliberate in the mini pupillages they've chosen to apply for? That should be a priority for you, and something that you should really be trying to do. Yeah, I think that covers all of my advice I have for cover. If you want any more advice, I'd suggest heading over to things like lawcareers.net are very good. And also the Pupillage podcast has a whole episode on mini pupillages and applications for mini pupillages. But yeah, it sounds like you're treating your application seriously. And sorry, I was just getting a pop-up on my computer. Sounds like you're taking your application seriously, and best of luck to you for them. I think you're going to do well. If you're thinking about it now, just keep trying. And look, you're going to get lots of rejections. That's the way of the game, but keep going. Try and learn from each rejection, and that should be good for you. Okay, so the next question, the last question. Hey, what do we expect in a BPTC interview? What are the questions asked and how are we supposed to answer them? Please give an insight of the BPTC interview. If you mean the interview to get onto the BPTC course, I am aware that some providers do that. What to expect is all sorts of things. Some of them do advocacy, so you be given something in advance and then required to speak on it. Some of them give you situational things, asking you questions about yourself, but they're usually very short. And I've said a lot of times, and I'll say it again, right or wrong, good or bad, it's not hard to get onto the BPTC once you have the grades and the funding. A lot of these centers are not that discerning and are not going to put a lot of pressure on you in respect of jumping through hurdles and hoops to get onto the course. Now, I've mentioned before that a lot of people have criticized providers for this, but it works in your favor. As long as you stay relaxed and calm, speak well and clearly, to pause where you need to pause, you'll be absolutely fine. And a lot of these BPTC interviews are designed to see if they're going to offer you a scholarship as well. So I spoke to someone who's done a couple of them. Don't overthink it. Just go in there, expect roughly anything, but it's going to be sensible. The idea is that you're going to be a barrister. So if you're applying onto the bar course and you're not mentally prepared to be able to deliver small, simple advocacy, then maybe you're not ready for the course. That's just harsh truth. If things like standing up in front of people and speaking are petrifying you to the point that you don't know if you can do it, you need to take a real serious pause and think about why you're going on to the BPTC course. If that's not a problem for you, you will be absolutely fine, and I have no worries for you whatsoever. I hope that answers your question. If you were asking about BPTC scholarship interviews, I've answered a lot of that in previous live streams and in my lawcareers.net videos and in blog posts. So take a look at those because I think you'll find the answers you're looking for there. So guys, that's all of my questions for this week. So I wanted to let you guys know I have a legal podcast called Legal Tea with B. And each week I do a mini episode called #Let's Unpack. And it's where I unpack a problematic trending topic. This week I did Prime Minister Boris Johnson's pledge to get tough on crime. And I talked about the different implications of that. And I read out some remarks from barristers, including the secret barrister as well, and David Lammy, MP. So have a look at that. If you want to see more of my episodes, then the monthly episode, that's a big episode. So you have the mini episodes every week. You get 4 of those a month, and then you get the big one once a month. And it's on just cool legal topics. I just talk to people within my network about what it is they've got going on. And yeah, I really try and I make an effort to make it really fun and engaging. The weekly Let's Unpack episodes are 10 to 15 minutes long, so perfect for commuting. You can just download it onto your phone, but please subscribe on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify and keep up to date. Go to legalteawithb.com, or you can follow Legal Tea with B on Twitter and Instagram. That's the handle, is @legalteawithb. All right, guys, that's it for me this week. I will see you next week for another Ask Blessing at the Bar live stream. Make sure that you send your questions into me on Curious Cat. If you send me questions on my Instagram DMs, I will answer them on the live stream. So if I like your comment, so not your comment, your message. So if you send me a message and I tap like, then that means I've read it, I've seen it, I've acknowledged it, and yeah, we can keep going. Oh, I have another question. I'm just letting them know I'm answering on the live stream. So I had a question. I'm in the middle of choosing if I'm going to be doing a dissertation or clinical module for my BPTC LLM. Did you do the BPTC with the LLM? What advice would you give? Unfortunately, I didn't do the BPTC with the LLM. I did the BPTC straight, but I know that clinical module was good if you like practical work. The dissertation was good if you like academic writing. So it's sorry to be so simple with it, but if you really are attracted with the idea of doing practical stuff, then the clinical module should be good. And if you really attracted by the idea of organizing your big brainiac theories and ideas and whatever, then the LLM would be a good idea for you. Suzanne Reese has done a book on the LLM, and I'll be reviewing that with some friends who actually did the LLM option. And that could be a helpful resource for you. I'm just checking. All right, that's it. Okay, so that was a last minute question. All right, everyone, that's it from me. As I said, peace out. I will see you guys next week, same time, for a live stream, and hopefully my big fancy camera will actually be working. All right, guys, peace out. Bye.